Hello, welcome to Unleashed. Think we are live. There we go. Now we're live. Technical issues always are a part of my everyday, it seems like. I'm just gonna wait for some people to join. Welcome to Unleashed, everyone. Hope everyone has had a good day. When you come on, let me know who's here. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what kind of day you've had. Let me know if you can hear me properly. Sometimes there's technical issues. Now, last time I did a workshop, the comments did not come through until the last 15 minutes. And I don't want that to happen this time. Hi, Hannah. Huge shout out to Hannah. Thanks for being here. There are so many people signed up, but I know that people are like sleeping right now and they're gonna have to watch the replay, and that's totally fine. But welcome the people who are here. Just gonna give some time for some more people to sign in. This is Unleashed, the workshop where we're gonna learn how to, hey Hannah, where we're gonna learn how to live in our purpose now without fear holding us back. Let me know where you guys are from. I know some people are here from Newfoundland, which is awesome. Some people from Ontario, some people from the other side of the world. Hi, Sharon. Hello. So glad you're here, Sharon. Comments are coming in. This is good. Last time they didn't. So if you have not taken the time to watch Reclaim, that was on just more than 3 weeks ago, and it goes hand in hand with what we're talking about tonight. So I invite you to look at Reclaim after this, schedule a self-care night and get into it. It's really good. I am such a fan of self-development. Hi, Nicole. Welcome to Unleashed. Hi, Kristen. Oh my gosh, it's so good that you're here. Hi, Kristen. Awesome. So with Reclaim, last time we talked all about shame and how shame tells us three things. We're not good enough, we're alone, we have to go through things alone, or, we're bad. And it kind of ties into this because I'm going to be talking about more stuff that can trigger shame, actually. But I'm going to talk you through it because fear and shame are sometimes intertwined. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I was having a bad morning this morning, and a shout out to Hannah who's here because she gave me a little bit of a pep talk. But, it reminded me of, wow, we're all on this level. It doesn't matter what part of the journey we're in, we're all here. It doesn't matter if we're going through something really hard or our life is really easy, we are all here. And I'm sitting out at my back porch going, okay, Sarah, like, I was literally getting triggered about the things that I'm about to talk to you guys about today. And, that's so normal, especially because my body and my mind has been knowing that, I'm going to be talking about some stuff tonight that I've gone through while I coach you guys. And so this morning I was feeling it. I was feeling the weight. I was feeling the fear come in. And I'm sitting out on my back porch and I'm just like, okay, the old me would want to push this away. I want to say, go away. You don't belong to me. And the thing is that when triggers happen, it's an opportunity for us to develop more about who we are inside. And I've talked about triggers with my clients even yesterday about how if we invite the triggers in and then we look at them as if they're a friend, and then we get to observe them and then decide how we're going to respond. Whenever a trigger comes in and we just want to push it away, we're reacting. When we get to instead respond. So I said, okay, part of me was like, Sarah, you got to get over this because you're teaching tonight and you can't have all this fear in you. You're teaching tonight, but you know what? I would have had a much worse day if I had done that. Instead, I welcomed the trigger in and I said, okay, what do you have to teach me today? And I'm more empowered now than I was this morning. So I thank it. And I'm going to be talking tonight about how the only time we need to look back on our life is to look how far we have come, or to look at how and what we have learned through our struggles. It can be so easy to look behind and go, oh my gosh, like all this stuff has happened to me. What is wrong with me? Or we can look back and say, wow, look how far I have come. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. There's some newbies in the Facebook group, and welcome. If you are new, if you've never been here before, definitely say hi. Um, let's see. Okay, Sharon, you're taking some friends. That's awesome. I'm going to keep scrolling down. I think that's the key. I have to actually scroll down to see the comments, but welcome. If you are new, I'm just going to share a little bit about my story, and maybe if you've known me, you don't know these things about me. And this is what I'm going to show you, the parallel of when you look back on your life and how you can view your life regardless of where you are right now. I want to welcome you in. This is a safe space. It can be so easy to be fearful. What I also want to say before I get into my story is just the truth that this is a safe space. So many of us operate in a world where we don't feel safe, where we don't feel like we can be comfortable, where we don't feel like we belong. I want you to know that this space is a moment for you. It's a safe haven. It's a moment to come to not compare. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. So glad you are here. We're going to talk about so much. And some of you are scared of failing, scared of making a mistake. And in this space, you don't have to. I created the Soul Talk method to help women and men feel empowered, but also recover from that place where they didn't feel safe and they didn't belong. So this is a space for you to reclaim your voice and reclaim your worth and reclaim your purpose tonight, okay? So as I'm speaking about my story, I want you to reflect on your story. And I want you to ask yourself, where are you right now? You are here. You are on time. I am here. We all come with different baggage. We all come with different stories. We're all here tonight. And I want us to leave this space with value, with empowerment, to continue living in your purpose. Okay? So I started this journey to become a life coach like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, to prove to people that, to prove them wrong. I was told at 16 I would never make it through university, and I wanted to prove them wrong. Now, like, it did give me some momentum and some motivation to get my ass in gear and work hard. But today I solve a problem. I help solve a problem that I struggled with so deeply. The problems of feeling unworthy, feeling so lost, feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, feeling like there's a lack of purpose, like you're empty inside. So many people, when they come to me, those are the things that they will say. And I feel like I've lost myself. That's probably the number one thing I hear on a daily basis. And I'm going to share with you my story. Just some different timelines of things that have happened to me. And for a long time, I used to think so many things were wrong with me. But now I know that something happened to me. And today I am empowered and I'm in my purpose. And I know that the girl that went through all these things, she was in her purpose as well. So at the age of 4, my parents divorced and I was sexually abused by my babysitter. Then at age 8, I was diagnosed with a learning disability. Now, if any one of you has ever been diagnosed with a learning disability, I want you to know that those things do not define us either. And to be honest, it just means we learn differently. And guess what? We all learn differently. That is what I've learned from that. But at age 8, it was really hard to hear. School was really hard for me. Then at age 16, like I said before, I was told I would never make it to university. And that was really hard for me to hear because I had the dream of becoming a counselor at the time, and you needed a university degree, and I was getting like 40% in high school. But let me tell you, by grade 12, I was getting 80s and 90s, and I was like, okay, I just learned differently. Age 25, actually age 17, I dropped out of university for the first time. At age 25, I dropped out of university for the second time. At age 26, my fiance cheated on me. And that was a horrible experience. And oh man, I remember when that happened, like, I didn't know how I was gonna love again. I didn't know how I was gonna trust someone again. And I didn't know how I was going to just trust and love myself again. But also I thought, what the hell is wrong with me, right? And I will tell you, the reason how I learned to love again, it started with me. I had to trust and learn to love myself again. And so like I said, it would be so easy to look back on these things and go, oh my gosh, like there's so many things wrong with me. But today I see a woman that is grown, that has been empowered, that has had radical transformation, and a girl that was whole through all of those different things. So, whatever circumstance you come in with tonight, I want you to know that you're in your purpose right now. So, when I promoted Unleashed, I said, so you'll learn how to live in your purpose now. I want you all to know that you're in your purpose right now. It's not when you get there, it's not when you have the stuff. It's right here, right now, because it starts inside of you and you bring it into what else happens. It overflows into your job, into your family. And a lot of people, when I say embrace your authenticity, discover who you truly are, it doesn't mean that you need to completely change jobs or move across the country. Some of you are in amazing jobs, or you have a family that you love waking up to every morning. I'm not asking you to abandon those things. I'm asking you, how do you want to show up to those things? And it starts here. If we're striving and chasing and we're making our identity out of being busy, we're always going to feel stuck, or the emptiness is going to come up, or we're going to have issues around self-worth and self-confidence, because our identity never comes from those things. When we find out that our security comes from inside of us, it makes those other things so much more worthwhile and so much more worth a fulfillment. So how does that change your perspective when you think of, okay, my purpose is inside me and I bring it into what I do? How does that change your perspective? Have you ever thought of it that way? Your purpose is allowed to grow with you. Sometimes we are in the same job for 10 years. Sometimes we're in the one job for a year and then we change our mind because we grow. But every single part of my life, when I look back on all these negative things and all these horrible circumstances that did happen to me, what I could also say was, wow, I became resilient because I didn't let my learning disability stop me from going after what I truly wanted. It took me a hell of a lot longer. There was a lot of crying. I had to hire a lot of tutors, but I got there. Or actually, I forgot to mention that at 24 years old, I had a liver condition and I didn't leave my house for 4 months. And the shame came back in of, oh my goodness, no one else is going to get this. I have to do this alone, right? Your self-worth and your self-confidence is the value you place on yourself. Are you giving someone else the job to give you your value? Are you outsourcing your worth? Your self-worth is the value you place on yourself. How do you think about yourself? Today I'm going to be your hype person. I am going to encourage you. I'm going to give you some insights, some mindset shifts, some different perspectives to leave here with a different perspective and a different value for your self-worth and self-confidence. Okay? But it starts with inside you. And when you think back on your life, when I think back on my life, I want to say something really profound, and that is, without struggle, there is no progress. Without struggle, there is no progress. What would happen if everything happened overnight? If everything was easy? If everything could get fixed with the flick of a switch? Would you appreciate what you have and who you are? Would you appreciate that? I think we can all look back on our life and see that there was a mountain we had to climb and it was worth it in the end. And again, some of you might be going through horrible circumstances right now. And my heart goes out to you. But this is not forever, as well as you get to decide how you respond to it and what you decide to do with it. This life is a journey. When I think back to who I was 10 years ago, wow. And let yourself be allowed to get interrupted. Allow yourself to be open to wonder and imagination. When I was going through all these things and before I entered my transformation journey, I was very stressed. I was very anxious. I would wake up like that almost every morning. And like today, even though I was triggered, I was able to go out and breathe and appreciate the beauty around me. How many of you take time to appreciate the beauty around you? Again, you can be going through horrible circumstances. There can be some things going on in your life that are not always easy, but there's still beauty every single day. And when you change what's in here and you realize your purpose is in here, your whole outlook on life and people change for the better. I remember, I'm going to share with you guys another story. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I feel like I need to share this. So I was in school when I was 25. I went back to school to become a pastor. And it wasn't for me for many reasons. That's a whole another conversation, but it ended up being the starting point to my healing journey. And I remember being so lost even when I went in, and didn't like looking at myself in the mirror, was full of imperfections. We're all full of imperfections, but I've learned to embrace them because it starts within here and not on the surface level. And I want to guide you guys into soul talk versus self-talk. And I'll talk more about that later. But I was just so like into, like, every day I was just checking out my imperfections, really letting it dictate how I felt about myself. Some days I was just so low in my self-worth. And if you guys were to see me, like, what I struggle with is a lot of just imperfections in my skin, scarring. And I was out doing a food truck with the homeless, and we were giving out food. And this woman approaches me, and she's my age, and she has scars all down her face. And I saw like a glimmer of like a reflection of me in her. And it was like I woke up and I was like, wow, okay. I have my life and she has her life. And it wasn't a moment of comparison. It was just like, I am valuing all the wrong things. I'm looking outside of myself instead of inside. If you stop chasing approval and chasing and striving for standards, how different would your life be if you didn't have to outsource your worth? How different would your life be? Okay, guys, we're gonna get into it now. Just making sure no one is... Okay, there's one person needing to join, guys, so give me 2 seconds here. I did invite some people on here. All right, someone is joining. Awesome. I love that the comments are coming in now because they weren't coming in before. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. Okay. How many of you are waiting until you get there before you enjoy beauty around you, like I was just talking about, before you learn to be loved and allow yourself to get loved or enter into transformation? How many of you are waiting until you get there? I have some people who will message me saying, okay, I know I need help, but I need to get over my depression first, or I need to get my life in order, or my life needs to be more chaotic before I make this change. But let me tell you, healing is jagged and it can be messy, and you don't have to do it alone. So, how are you waiting until you get there? You don't have to, because your purpose starts right here, and it starts inside of you. And if you wait until you get there and you haven't accepted where you are right now, how can you expect your life to be any different? But if you accept who you are right now and you start to value your worth right now, everything will change when you get there. It'll be better than what you first imagined it to be. You won't be stuck on trying to control the outcome. You'll be trusting the process. I will always say, hold your vision, have your goals, be committed to the process, but be open to change. Trust the process. Okay? So a lot of us are feeling stuck. A lot of people that joined this, they told me that they were feeling the stuckness. And it was getting in the way of their self-confidence. So stuckness, let me give you some symptoms of what stuckness might feel like to you if you don't identify with that word. Okay, stuckness is numbing your emotions. Endless doing. Again, you're finding your identity and being busy. afraid of the unknown, wanting to control the outcome. So you don't make any decision because you're just stuck. You don't know how to make a decision. You go after achievement and having stuff, but still it's not enough. You could have all the things, but it's still not enough. You still feel unfulfilled. Being stuck is also people pleasing. You're pleasing all these other people, but yet you haven't come home to you yet. And again, your identity and being busy. So, do you ever feel like you're headed in the wrong direction? Do you ever feel like you're headed in the wrong direction? What fears come up for you when you think you have to make a new decision? What fears come up? What are you fearing about tomorrow? What self-doubt comes up? If anyone is brave and wants to share, I would love for you guys to share. Again, this is a safe space. I understand it can be scary, but get really real. I want you guys to ask yourself, and I want you to answer yourself, what are you fearful of? It can be a simple thing of going into work every day. Yes, you go there every day, but you are fearful of someone else, what they think of you. You can be fearful of going home to a family reunion because you haven't seen your family in like a year, and it can be toxic and you're fearful of going and seeing them. You can be fearful of the fact of you're in a job that you do not like and you know you may need to make a change and you are scared so much to quit your job and find something new. What are you fearful of? Your sense of self-worth is also the quality of life you live out. I'm going to say that again. Your sense of self-worth, how you value yourself, is how you live your life out. So again, when you come home to yourself, when you realize and believe that your purpose is inside you and your confidence starts inside you, it's going to change the quality of life you live out. Yeah, you're still going to have your bad days. You're still going to feel the fear, but you're not going to allow it to control you. And guys, I want to teach you tonight how to not allow fear to control you. Okay? Yeah, Sharon. Fear of being alone or making the wrong decision. Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's dig into this. So I'm going to say something that might be like, whoa, oh my gosh. Sorry, there's more notifications. I just want to make sure no one is wanting to come in. There's another person needing to come in, guys. Thanks for your patience. Awesome. Okay, so some people that have joined, if you have joined recently, say hi. If you're, oh, Hannah, yes, of setting boundaries. What comes with setting boundaries is we have to tell people no, right? And there's guilt in there, and there's the fear of, will they accept me if I say no? Yeah, Tina. Yeah, fear of setting boundaries. When you set a boundary, what's going to happen is resistance is going to come up because you know you might be disappointing someone, yet at the same time, you're saying yes to yourself. With setting boundaries, you don't know the word no. Okay. What I want to say to you guys is this. Every single time you say no to someone else, you're saying yes to you. And it doesn't feel right. It feels selfish. Because for so long you've been saying yes to everything outside of you or yes to all these people before saying yes to yourself. And so that's why it's so uncomfortable. And sometimes when you set boundaries, you don't even need to tell the other person. You can just have it close to you. But then, you know, if they disrespect your boundaries, then what you can do is you might have to have a conversation with the person. And you know what, guys? I do role plays with my clients about boundaries because it is hard. It is hard to set boundaries. But I would encourage you to ask yourself tomorrow morning, okay, what do I need? What do I have scheduled today? Is there anything that I need to say no to? And even before it's another person, maybe it's an activity that you wanted to do for yourself. If you need to say no to that activity and yes to something else, that's already harnessing a boundary. Okay, make it really small steps before you're comfortable setting more boundaries. And always ask yourself, what do I need? What's important to me? Your friends, true friends, will respect that, and that'll harness more of your self-worth. Okay? Again, guys, if you're new, if you just popped on, I know there was a couple people that I just let into the group. Make sure you say hi. Where are you from? We're so glad that you're here. So, with making decisions, I'm going to talk more about that, guys, and stay with me because I'm going to give you some illustrations as well. So, the fear of making new decisions, that's resistance comes up with that as well. So, how many of you feel like you've self-sabotaged yourself recently? How many of you have thought, wow, I just self-sabotaged? What if I were to tell you there's no such thing as self-sabotage? It's more of that we think we're self-sabotaging. So stick with me. I'm going to explain this. I'm going to give you guys some examples. So addiction. Take addiction, for example. You could be addicted to gossip. You could be addicted to the alcohol. Part of you knows that it's not healthy. Part of you knows, okay, this is not good for me. I probably shouldn't be doing this. But it's impossible. It's impossible to stop, so I'm going to stay here. But then the other part of you is like, well, I know that I need to stop. I know that if I go to a recovery group, if I go to the safe people, I'll be okay. And yes, it's going to be painful, but I'm going to do it. And you make the decision based on this part of you that's like, nope, there's no way, it's impossible, so I'm going to stay here. That keeps you stuck. Whereas there's a new part of you that knows you need to make the change. So there's two parts of you, and they're kind of in a battle. And we honestly, guys, we can feel this almost every single day about the simplest little decisions. Am I going to eat the salad? Am I going to eat the junk food? Right? We're faced with decisions. And I want you to realize the power of your choice. Okay, take a new job. Take a new job for an example. So you're in a job and it is sucking the life out of you. It is draining you. There's toxic people. Your boss is belittling you. You know you need to leave. But hey, this job, it feeds your kids. It gives you the bills. It helps you pay the bills. So you're going to stay. And the other part of you is like, wow, I've always dreamed about being a retail owner and owning my own coffee shop. But man, there's a lot of risk in that. I'm going to have to invest money. I'm going to probably fail along the way. So I'm going to stay here. And then that's when we self-sabotage, because we stay here when you could do this. The last example is a relationship, okay? You're over here. You really, really want a committed relationship. You crave that intimacy. You want to be with a partner to grow old with and to just do life with. But then the other part of you is like, but man, I've been hurt before. I've been betrayed before. A relationship takes hard work. So I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to put myself out there. I'm just going to stay here. That's self-sabotaging. So there's like two parts of us, guys. And this is what I want to talk a little bit about tonight is self-trust. So this part of you, the part that wants to stay safe and not go through the pain and stay stuck, you're operating out of fear in the head. Our mind wants to keep us safe. Whereas here, it's our intuition. It's what we know is better for us, but it scares us because it's new. But every single time you have an opposition of these choices, you get to decide. And you can step out. Even if it's scary, even if it's new. A lot of us want to control the future, so we stay here because it's safe and because it's predictable. I want to tell you guys that none of us know what's happening next. None of us, we have a plan tomorrow, but we don't know what's going to happen. It's going to get interrupted. Plans are going to change. And so I want you guys to start operating that you can make new choices. You can make new decisions. We give the thoughts of fear in our head way too much power. What I want you guys to know is that you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. The fear that comes in that wants to keep you here, you don't have to believe it. Every single time fear comes into your head, you have the choice to believe it or not. And this is harnessing self-trust, okay? And it's something that in me was lost for many years. And I've regained it back, and it's possible for all of you to rebuild the self-trust. Where, yeah, it might be scary, but you're gonna trust that that's the best decision. And you're gonna go for it. So some psychology here, guys, is when we're thinking we're self-sabotaging, it's because we have a split consciousness. 95% of the time we live in autopilot, meaning that we do things because we're reacting the way we've always done life. Yeah, some of us are addicted to fear and stress because it keeps us safe. And so we live on autopilot. Oh, this opportunity comes up, but no, I'm not going to take it. So you stay here. And there's the resistance that comes up. Should I do this? Should I do that? So there's the autopilot, that's the subconscious, and there's the consciousness. I want you guys to start learning how to trust yourself and make decisions out of consciousness. I want you to awake yourself to consciousness, and this takes time. And I want you guys to know that if you want a one-to-one session with me, I give free one-to-one sessions. So if there's anything that you want clarification on after this workshop, let me know. I will hop on a call where you can ask me questions, and I will help you through some of the things that maybe some fears you don't want to say on here. I get that. And I'm there for you even after this call or after this workshop. So it is easier for us to live in self-judgment than in self-love. Some of you might have a deep sense of self-hatred. Maybe some of you guys are living in the shame that I talked about last time. And if any of this is triggering you with any kind of shame, I encourage you to go back and watch the Reclaim workshop as well, because it'll help you uncover that and then release that. Because again, anytime you look back, you can be thinking back on your life right now being like, man, why didn't I make that right decision 2 years ago? It doesn't matter. You're here right now, and you have the opportunity to not be a victim to fear anymore, but to decide out of a place of trust. So does that all make sense to you guys? The consciousness versus subconscious. So we have to start making decisions out of what is true. You weren't created to only strive, chase, and give love. You were also created to receive love and be loved. How many of you feel loved? What does self-love mean to you? How are you showing love to yourself? How do you speak to yourself? Guys, this is more than just positive thinking. We're harnessing more than positive thinking. What you can do is you can say all the affirmations to yourself. You can say, yes, Sarah, you're an awesome person. You can do it. But if your body is still full of stress and unresolved like trauma or stress, it's going to send a signal up to your brain. And that's when resistance and more issues come up of fear. And that's why it's so hard for some of us to believe that our purpose is right now. So when you do make a decision, how many of you are operating out of, I guess I should say it this way. So have you ever said to yourself, I fear this, and then you make your decision? Just think about that for a sec. How many of you have said, I fear this, and then you make your decision after you've said that to yourself, whether out loud or inside? It's so easy to do, guys. I fear this. Well, guess what? You're letting fear dictate your decisions when you don't have to. Again, what you can do is, what I would encourage all of you guys to do is have moments throughout your day where you check in with yourself. and ask yourself, okay, how am I feeling in this moment? And if it's something fearful or it's something not of self-love, you get to ask yourself, okay, do I believe this? Because what you believe, you're going to live out. If you let the fear in and you, I guess what I would say is welcome the fear in, but then you get to say to it, okay, it doesn't belong to me, but I want you to observe the fear. And then you get to decide your next step, and it does not have to be fear-based. You hold yourself back every single time you operate from that space of, I fear so. I fear this so. You don't have to. I want you guys to learn to wake up with intention. And I want to give an illustration again here. So, okay, so picture this. If some of you guys want to close your eyes, you can. But picture this. So, okay. So you wake up. The alarm is there and you're like, oh, I do not want to have to get up today. There are bills that have to be paid. I don't have the energy. I just don't feel motivated. I don't want to go into the job. I just don't want to get up today. Okay, I guess I have to get up. So you get up. Maybe you've hit the alarm 3-4 times and you say, okay, whatever. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, okay, look at all those imperfections. And then you take a shower thinking, okay, the shower is it's gonna take off some of the stuff from yesterday, but I still feel horrible about myself. And so you douse yourself full of coffee. And I'm here to say, a cup of coffee is not bad. I'm definitely a tea girl, but you start looking to stuff to fill you up. Here's the other side of this. You wake up and you lay there for a minute and you say to yourself, wow, it's another day. It's another opportunity for me to be curious about what my purpose is today, what I can bring to the world, because it starts inside me. And you give yourself a moment. And then you put your feet on the floor of your bed and you check in with yourself. You go, okay, what do I need today? Yeah, there's some unresolved issues with my family. There's a bill I don't know how to pay, but what do I need today? And you get up and you say to yourself, okay, today's going to be a good day. Fear you don't belong to me. And you go into your day with peace and hope and trust. Now guys, what I want to make clear here is that when you learn to come from a place of self-trust, doesn't mean that fear is never going to be there again. You're a human being, and life is an emotion. Have any of you ever apologized for having emotions? Have any of you ever apologized to yourself or just... I remember being in my first life coaching session years ago, and I was a mess. I was crying, and I just kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And she said to me, Sarah, you do not have to apologize for your tears. And I'm a girl who used to numb everything. Like I said in the Reclaim workshop, I used to numb my feelings, and it was like a ritual every year. I would lock myself in the bathroom and just cry buckets on the bathroom floor like I was hungover. And then I would put a Band-Aid on and just continue on with life. But honestly, life is an emotion. But again, when you're coming from that place of self-trust, it's like a wave, and there's this anchor holding you. Yes, there's ups and downs, but I'm here, and I've got me, and it's going to be okay. And you know how to harness yourself back in, and you know to not let fear control your future. Okay? Self-confidence is a habit of your thoughts. This is why I created the Soul Talk method, because the body, mind, and soul, it's all connected. It's all one. I've had so many experts say to me, everything is mindset. Everything is mindset. Yes, the mindset is very important, but the body is connected to the mind. So that's like what I was saying earlier, is that when we're feeling stress here and here, it comes up to our mind. So yes, you can have all the positive thoughts going on, but then you feel the tension because you haven't had time to ask yourself what you need, and you haven't come back to your your trust in here. It's all one. It all works together. So when one is off, it all feels off. Okay? I want to say this to you guys. So many of you feel unworthy of what you want. So staying stuck is affirmation that you don't deserve what you actually want. Okay? I'm going to say that again. So many of you feel unworthy of what you want to do. It could be something new. It could be making that new decision. So you stay stuck and it becomes that affirmation that you don't actually deserve what you truly want. One other person is joining, guys. Let's take a moment. All right. I want you to harness the power of your choice. To know that every single day you have a choice of how you want to live. Cultivating this power of the choice anchors your self-confidence and self-worth. So remind you guys that your self-worth is the value you place on yourself. Maybe you've never thought of it this way, and you're going, holy shit. How do I view myself? I don't even know, because I've been looking out for all these other places to fill me. So many of you are exhausted because you're outsourcing your worth. So how do we build self-trust? How do we build self-trust? It starts with awareness. It starts with awareness. And I hope that through this workshop you have built awareness in you. You might not have the answers. I don't want you guys to leave here thinking you need all the answers. That's controlling the outcome. That's controlling the future, which I said you don't need to do. You're committed to the process. You're committed to your worth. You're committed to your goals. You're holding your vision. But you're not concerned about the outcome. You're not controlling the outcome. I want to tell you guys, there's no arrival. We never stop growing in this life. It's a continuation. So that's why your purpose starts inside of us, because it grows as we grow. And you're allowed to change your mind. As you grow, your whole outlook on life is going to change. And then you're allowed to get interrupted. Someone else might come into your life that goes, oh my goodness, I have a very similar idea than you, and let's do it together. And so your two dreams or your two goals come to one. And then you gain a different perspective. Have an open heart. Have an open heart. Show yourself self-compassion. Acceptance. In order to accept yourself, you have to forgive yourself from a place of trust. Not going, oh my goodness, Sarah, like, why did you do that back then? There was so much wrong with you. No. I forgive myself, so I free myself today. That's what forgiveness does, is it frees you. You don't have to hold on to things anymore. It frees you. I want to define self-trust for you guys, because maybe you don't know what it even is. Self-trust is making decisions with your best interest. So like I was saying, the really good job, it pays your bills, but it's toxic and it's draining your energy, and you don't know how you're going to live another day in it. Oh my goodness, I want to be a cafe owner. There's going to be tough times. Operating out of your best interest is going here, not staying here. And I want to say this again in case you didn't hear it. Some of you are already in really good jobs and you have amazing families. You're not abandoning it. It's how do you want to show up to even just the little things? How do you want to show up when you're having dinner with your spouse? How do you want to show up to your girlfriends when you're having a girls' night? How do you want to show up to yourself when you're alone? Okay? Defining self-trust is also coming home to your character, to your strength, and to your truth. And this might be a foreign concept to some of you guys. What are you guys learning so far tonight? Has there been any mind-blowing things? Do you have any questions? The reason why there's a lack of trust is because there's parts inside you that don't act in your best interest. The fear does not act in your best interest. It wants to keep you safe. And that's why there can be no blame on our past, because it did keep you safe. The scared girl in me that was sexually abused, that did not know that I had a purpose because I wasn't smart enough, I don't blame her, because I was I was being safe. I was in survival mode, but now I know that there's a whole world more than just being in survival mode. Survival mode keeps you in that fear, keeps you in stress, keeps you in anxiety. When you can really learn to operate out of trust and peace and ease and fulfillment. And it's an intentional choice every single day. It's not like, oh my goodness, I'm on a high today. I had a really good workshop with Sarah. I got it. I'm done. This is it. No. Every day you got to ask yourself how you're doing. How are you going to live? So radical acceptance and forgiveness here. So self-trust can be built, I'm going to recap, by becoming aware of your resistance, the power of choice, keeping a small promise to yourself. And a small promise can be just what I was talking about how are you going to wake up tomorrow morning? Are you going to check in with yourself? Are you going to make that boundary like we were just talking about? Are you going to actually make the boundary and stick to it? Just make one boundary. Sharon, thank you so much for sharing that. That's so brave for you to share that. Yes. And every one of you need to go at your own pace. This is not an overnight fix, right? It's going to take time, because a lot of us, we have been operating out of fear for so long. You don't have to anymore. Yeah. Trust is so important to you. And honestly, if you leave here knowing, okay, trust is important to me, that's enough for right now. When we operate in fear, we want to control the outcome. We want to plan. We want to strategize. We want to strategize how we trust ourselves. And again, when that trigger comes up, when that resistance comes up, you want to observe it. And then let it go when it's ready to go. Okay? Sometimes what we thought we want isn't what we actually want. Guys, I was heartbroken when my fiance cheated on me. I had to take 2 months off of work. I was a wreck. I didn't know how. I was building this life with someone else, and then all of a sudden, in one phone call, just done, and the truth was out. And my worst fear had come true. That's what was scary as hell. Like, my worst fear, guys, was that my partner would cheat on me, and it came true. But I would look back and I go, okay, I'm thankful that what I thought I wanted didn't happen. So, as you learn to trust yourself again, be open to change, getting interrupted, allowing yourself to wonder and imagine. I can't do it and it's impossible do not exist when you trust yourself. People are going to tell you it's impossible. People are going to tell you you can't do it. Don't bother. It won't happen. But you get to decide whether you're going to listen to their voice or you're going to listen to your voice. It's time for you to wake up to your authentic self. The self that wants to make decisions and live out of a place of your best interest. What tells us to stay small and to stay hidden is our fear, our self-doubt, and our shame. But it does not get to dictate your future. You can come out of hiding. The deeper inner knowing of that self-trust, that is soul talk. And that is why I created Soul Talk, the Soul Talk method. I'm the founder of the Soul Talk method, and I love walking people through this journey. So again, if you want a one-on-one call with me after this, message me. I love walking people through this to a place where they know that there's a uniqueness that makes you you that you won't find on the surface level. The surface level, if we're finding our self-worth from what we look like on the outside, it's not ever going to be enough. We fill our cup from the outside, and then when we do our hair and makeup, or when we buy the nice outfit, if there's men watching this, if you buy the nice outfit too, that doesn't fill you. It adds to who you are. That's why it's not enough to just change your thoughts to positive thinking. It comes from the soul outward. Okay? So let's just talk about purpose for a sec before we wrap up. It's always so good to be with you guys. I want you to start making decisions because, and it's hard. I know it's hard. It takes some hard work. Empowerment is learning how to think for yourself and knowing you have a choice. Every single thought that comes through your head, you do not have to believe it. It does not have to dictate who you are, your purpose, or your future. I want to give you one last analogy or illustration. I'm a very visual learner, so it helps me, and I hope it helps you. So you're on the edge of the cliff, okay? You've just climbed a mountain. You're at the edge of the cliff. And you are so ready to live your life, to show up as your authentic self. Sending you so much love, Sharon. You are ready for something new. You know in your being that you were made for that, whatever it is. Name it out loud. But you look behind you and you go, it's a lot safer over there though. That mountain that you just climbed and you worked through, it's a lot safer over there. It's familiar. But you have the choice of stepping off the edge into the unknown. What I love to call it is the land of possibilities. You have the chance to step out into that. And it's scary. It's scary right now because you think you're going to fall. But what if I tell you you're not going to fall? You're going to soar. You were meant to soar. You are capable of soaring. I want you to take a step off the edge. You have the choice to step off the edge. When we think of our purpose, I want you to think of your purpose. It starts inside you and you bring it to what you do, not the other way around. It's what comes from you, not what you go to. It comes from you. So what comes from you, not what you go to? What makes your heart sing? Then you can ask yourself, what is my compassion for the world? Because all of us, we are part of a bigger picture than just us. And then this is when it becomes a domino effect. When one person shows up in their purpose, and guys, you are showing up in your purpose every day. You just might not be aware of it because you're looking at all this other stuff that you need and you think you want. But it starts in here first. And so when someone is aware of that, and yeah, they don't have all the answers, life is full of uncertainty, but when your purpose starts inside you, it allows someone else to do it as well. Because you're empowered, and then you're able to empower them from that empowered place. So your passion is inside of you. It could be something that you went through, something that's really dear to you about what makes your heart sing. And then you ask yourself, what's my compassion for the world? How do I want to serve people? How do I want to make a difference? And guys, you do not have to be the loudest person in the room. You do not have to have thousands of people following you or even standing on a stage. You can be a quiet person and still make a difference because it's one person at a time. And it starts with you first. So how do you want to change your life? How do you want to expand your life? What have you learned from tonight that you want to take in with you tomorrow? Your purpose is inside you. Okay? All right, guys. Before we go tonight, I want to thank you all for being here. Some of you, it's even scary being here. And I want to commend you for taking that action step to be here tonight, because just being open to a different perspective, being open to the self-development, it is huge, and it's taking a step for yourself. You said yes to yourself by being here, and that is amazing. And I'm so excited for each and every one of you. Wherever you are in your journey, there's so much more of life for you to live. This life is short. This life is fleeting. So how do you want to live your life tomorrow? How do you want to show up in your purpose tomorrow? And it starts with yourself before you even leave the door, before you even get out of bed in the morning. If you joined this workshop later, hi Deborah. I'm so excited for you, Deborah. Tina, so excited for you. I'm so excited for each and every one of you in your journey. It's your journey, no one else's. And again, the invitation to get on a free call with me is open for all of you. We can strategize and we can go over more specifics for you. But I want you to know that nothing you've done in this life has ever been wasted. Every single day is a stepping stone, a small stepping stone to where you're supposed to be. So you don't need to worry about getting there. You need to be focused on who you are right here, right now. You are here. I am here. And there is a life to be lived. All right, guys. Before we leave, I just want to make sure I want you guys to leave this space with fulfillment, with value. If any of you have any last minute questions, feel free to drop them in the box, the comment box. I want to ask you, how do you want your life to be in 4 months from now? A lot can happen in 4 months. Again, with the Soul Talk method, it's a 4-month program where I walk you through these tough topics. It's completely individualized for your needs. You get unlimited access to me and weekly sessions with me where we walk through this together. And you start to listen to your soul instead of self-talk. And it is transformational. I do not want any of you to wait until you get there before you decide to transform your life. You can transform your life right here, right now. It's just one step away. It changed my life, and it's going to change your life. And those things you want to achieve, they won't happen as easy as you want them to. And I mean, I shouldn't use the word easy, but you're going to have a clear vision when you take the time to transform your life first. Okay? So the Soul Talk method is open. I love to talk about it with people. I love getting on the free one-to-one calls. I did a few of them today. I love connecting with beautiful souls that you all are and encouraging you to continue living your life. All right, guys. I think that's all for tonight. I want to thank you all for being here, for being vulnerable. Sharon, thank you for sharing. Tina, thanks for being here. Hannah, Deborah, Tammy, I think you were here earlier. If you're still here. I know a few of you signed in later. This is going to be on for replay. Nicole, Kristen, Hannah, thank you all lovelies for being here. And if you did not want to speak up today, you did so good for being here. And what are you going to take into you to your next day? I want you guys to focus on one step at a time. You're on the edge of the cliff. You don't have to go to the back. You don't have to go to your past. The only time you need to look back is to look at how far you've come, what you are going to learn to take into the unknown. Step off the edge. You're going to soar. All right, guys. Sending you so much love. I'll talk to you soon.